track data that makes an impact. I will say this. I think our industry and the companies within our channel have gotten so much better at how they track data. It varies across the board. We help some companies with this as well and kind of create what I call a KPI culture. But what I would now say, a lot of companies are tracking data. Not as many companies are tracking the data that is actually actionable. Okay. And so there's a difference there, right? On the one hand, it's like looking on the back of a baseball card. Hey, look at all those stats. Isn't that awesome? The other side of it is, oh, look at what's happening here. Look at what this is telling me we should do. Let's go do something about that. Okay. So just this last week, I had the opportunity to post an article on World of Direct Selling, which is one of our great newsletters in our space. And I talked about 3 key reports, 3 stats that direct selling companies should pay more attention to. So I'm not going to go into detail on those here. I would encourage you to check out that article, but I will summarize it. Okay. The first one that I've seen happen that has such an impact on customers is a customer segmentation report. As a matter of fact, and this has to do with purchasing behaviors. And what I want to know is over the last 12 months of all the customers who have ordered from me, how many of them ordered only once? How many of them ordered 2 or 3 times? How many of them ordered 4 to 6 times? How many of them ordered 7 to 10 times? How many more than that? Because as you can probably guess, the people who order 7 or more times in a year, they are a way different person, at least in how they relate to our company, than the customer who has ordered only once. Okay. That one that's only ordered once, for all we know, they just felt pressure, from a friend. I'm not saying the friend pressured them, but they just felt reciprocity, right? My friend's asking me to buy this, so I'll buy it. And that's fine, but they obviously have had no intent of coming back and purchasing. What happens? So many companies right now are looking at customer programs, customer acquisition. How do I make customers more productive? Well, until you know this data, you won't really know where you need to be aiming. Okay. Because I think a lot of time, and let me tell you this, every one of these that I have seen, the best I've seen is that about 55% of a company's customers order only once in a year. I've seen it as high as 85%. Okay. So if you don't know that mix, go run that report, read the article. I'll go into more detail there, but it will unveil for you where your guns need to be pointed when it comes to customer promotions. Okay. Similar to that would be distributor segmentation. And what I want to know from that is not just their buying habits, but also their, what I would call acquisition. Okay. Well, a lot of times we might call recruiting or sponsoring, but I widen it because I want to know of my distributors who I have, how many of them, one, how much are they personally buying? But then more importantly, how many customers are they bringing in? How many have brought in 0 to 1? How many 2 to 4? I do a somewhat similar range, right? And then also, how many other distributors have they brought in? Have they sponsored? Get an idea on that because, again, when you know that, it's going to help shine a light on how do we move the masses. A lot of the attention that we give to our sales programs and things like that, a lot of times only resonates with about 30% of your distributor base. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore them. I'm not saying you should stop that. But you also need to recognize you're putting stuff out there that is just white noise for 70% of your bunch. So what if you could get that 70% to take one more step, right? Not the 10, not all 10 that you have in your success system. What if they could just take one more step in that? It would mean so much for your company. So get a handle on that. And then that leads into fast start analysis. And what I would say is, in almost every company has a fast start program. Make sure you have a report that shows you, here's what the value and the productivity and the activity of my new distributors are during my fast start program. So if you have a 90-day program, what do they do in those 90 days? And then what do they do their first year? And what I want to know there is if they reached tier 2 of my fast start program, what does that typically mean they will do for the entire year? If they get to all 3 points of my fast start program, what does that do? Because when I have that information, I'm able to then make some decisions on how to either change my fast start program or invest in their development. All right. And then finally, I'll add one. This was my mentor and co-founder who passed away this last year, but Alan Luce. he would always say that if he could only track one KPI, it would be paid as levels. He felt like, and I think there's a lot of truth to what he said. If you look at are your distributors who have reached a level, and is their paid as level, how many distributors are falling short of their recognized level with their paid as level, or how many are over that? And so both ways. And so in other words, are they actually acting like and producing at the level that their recognition and their highest achieved level says that they will? And that's obviously a great forward-looking indicator of where your business is, because again, that covers pretty much everything that your business does. All right. So, Rich, what do you think? There's a lot there.
It is. Well, and I was fortunate enough to see that World of Direct Selling article on Monday and got a chance to comb through that. And what I found very fascinating is that I really love the term you use in acquisition, right? And because to me, it is all about that customer acquisition. Because if we can get them bringing on enough customers through the door, some of those customers will eventually become those distributors, right?
Sure.
So we don't have to focus on bringing bodies into the business on my team. I really think that happens naturally as you focus and emphasize customer acquisition.